within an environment that does not acknowledge persons in their, well, the individual and their fullest potential within that environment. So we would find that persons who are within the environment, what they would define as toxic is a very competitive environment, of a lot of micromanaging. You'll find bullying in that kind of environment. You'll find a lot of antisocial behavior at all levels. And so there is a need for bringing this kind of awareness on the topic, and that everybody has a role to play, both employer and employee, in terms of addressing that issue. Of course, we know that a toxic work environment, there's also something called emotional contagion. And what that is like your energy really affects an environment. So it's important for employer and employee to check, to self-check, to take a personal inventory and seek after services that can get you the help so that you can have more, what I should say, your well-being in that environment is very subjective, so that you now need to acquire certain skills that would get you into having more fulfillment in that environment, and as a way to treat with such environments.
What are some of the issues that, and you touched on them briefly, but what are some of the issues that even employees and employers are dealing with in a toxic work environment?
Well, we would label it as interpersonal and intrapersonal dynamics, right? And what happens is that when someone is not self-aware, when there's not a self-awareness, we find that you really operate on the fly. You operate on the fly. So because I am aware as to how persons, most times you operate from a monkey mind. You're not really, because you're not paying attention to self. So the first thing that comes, your impulses, your impulse run amok on you. So you need to really pay attention to self, and yeah, it's a step in the right direction.
Is this also linked to emotional intelligence, or that's something separate?
The lack of it is as a result of the environment. It's the lack of it, the absence
Tell me more.
of
Yeah,
that.
go ahead.
Emotional intelligence. Well, before I even get there, I would say my background. Let me briefly reiterate, because I was here before. My background, I'm trained in the well-being sciences. So we take this situation from a totally different vantage point. We take it not because when you do some research on the topic, you hear a lot of people talking about, how they would find themselves having to really preserve themselves, being very careful as to what it is they say, that the work environment, there's you have no friends. You have no friends. And we don't prescribe to that. We want to advance pro-social, and what pro-social is. Actually, this initiative really calls for being open to a new perspective at the level of leadership. Because leaders, they are the movers and shakers where that is concerned. Sometimes when you really do a deep dive, you'd understand that sometimes because of not, you are not paying attention to yourself, you are blind to your own bias, that those things do transfer within the working environment as a leader. So it's very, very important. And that's my approach. I don't only speak, and well-being, the wellness initiatives most times fail because of that. The concept sometimes from leadership, they think that it's directed to the employee and not so much the employer. So there's both employer and employee need now for them to come to bridge the gap where those issues are concerned. So that's the approach that is suggested.
So here's the thing, right? I wanted to get into the issues because there are a lot of issues in workplaces, and that's why I asked the question. So for example, there is one school of thought who says, listen, when I signed a contract, I wasn't signed to be anybody's friend. I was signed to come and do a job and leave. And then there are others who are like, no, I want this to be a comfortable work environment. I want to be able to have a laugh with my coworker and get the work done. And so where do you have that balance where there's one employee who says this and one employee who says that, and then how do you find a way to make it an enjoyable environment for all?
Well, what we have currently functioning right now is the first, you come in there to work and that's it.
Yeah.
It creates that kind of environment. So what we want to now advance is no, we spend most of our time here. I mean, the level of, you have to feel comfortable, you have to feel safe, you have to feel seen, you have to feel valued. And so to have this kind of transactional approach to it, it robs the organization of really utilizing their human resources to its fullest potential.
And so how can we change that culture in a workplace?
Well, we use something called StrengthsBased Approach, all right? And why? Because within the well-being sciences, there's something that strengths-based, it taps into a person's character strengths and how now you can get that kind of awareness and bring it to the workplace to show better, all right? So strengths-based leadership is something that is advanced, and there is the opportunity for training and there's development on the topic. Actually, being a member of the International Institute of Positive Psychology, I'm a board member there. And so there's a number of training and opportunities that is provided for persons at leadership to become aware as to what is offered to speak to the issues within the workplace in that kind of environment.
Now, this training is for leaders, or is it for employers and employees?
Employers and employees.
Employers and employees,
yes.
Yeah. Some of the issues you mentioned as well earlier would have been that micromanagement and that sort of thing. That well-being training will also address all the issues that you may see in a work environment?
Yes, it has the potential to make profound changes. It has the profound. Actually, it's measured, it's evidence-based. So there's a whole lot of industries who has embraced the style of leadership and of course, the level of productivity, profitability, well-being, mental health is preserved within the environment and so forth. So yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And if we want to get in contact with you, Heather, is there a number, any social media handles you can leave with us?
Yes. You can reach me at DexCoach77 on Instagram, and on I'll also offer an opportunity for persons who really want to come in or get to know more about how Dex Life Coaching Services can play a role in persons or environments that is challenged on this topic. You have an opportunity to join my group, which on WhatsApp, my WhatsApp group, 264-4619. So persons can reach out to me. We can discuss what the initiative is all about, how we can help, and yeah, we can take it from there.
And the initiative, is it a rolling thing, or is it like for 6 weeks, 8 weeks? How exactly does it work? That training that you mentioned.
It's not, the training, there are so many components because within my group, actually, I would say that I'm a holistic coach. Right. So I see that there is need for a holistic development. And I work along with other experts. So we have sex therapists there, we have health coaches, we have a coach who's love life relationship coach. So everybody's making a contribution because it's a holistic initiative. And why? Because I see that everything else external to us is advancing except the human being. Yeah. And I would quote Deepak Chopra, which he said, we are human beings existing in a medieval mindset in a modern time. So because of all those variables I've considered is the reason for coming forward to speak to a whole reset, a reframing of the human being in their various vocation. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, Heather, let me thank you so much for coming in this morning. I know that you gave your information so people can reach out to you, and thank you so much for sharing a bit about the initiative.
Thank
and I hope that employers and employees alike can contact you and get some help.
Definitely.
Thanks a lot, Heather.
Thanks for having me.
And that was Heather Almorales, a life coach, just talking about those toxic work environments and how you can get that sort of holistic approach to dealing with some of your issues. You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a break and be right back. Stay with us.
It's true.